starting the hike up to Schwab Peak, and this is the end of Echo Canyon Road. Wasn't too bad coming up, and this is the end, about 9 miles. The high clearance helped, and the 4-wheel drive helped, and my trusty co-pilot Chaz helped. Met him on the PCT in 2014. Up to Schwab. Alright, so Chaz and I have been coming up this wash. That's Schwab right there to the left. We're just trying to figure out which ridgeline to take. It's probably one of those 3 up there. They all go to the same ridgeline and should lead up right to the top.
Cross-country traveling.
That's right. Decision points, right? So this is the ridgeline we've decided on, at least for the beginning. Although over there is another possible way, but I think it all goes to the same spot. If we get into trouble, I'm just gonna blame Chaz.
My fault.
That's right.
You were doing.
It's all your fault. I told you wouldn't be on video. What am I doing?
Hey.
You're on video.
Words are very unnecessary. They can only do harm.
We have a decision point, that's for sure. There's a ridgeline there, which we do have a GPX path for. We think that's Schwab, right there in the middle. And Mr. Chaz is going down. There's another line in that wash, but we don't want to go all the way down because we're lazy. Or I'm lazy. All right, I guess we'll find out. So we got defeated on our first attempt onto Schwab. It's all his fault. No, just joking. I actually blame more of myself because I thought this ridgeline was going to be the way to go, but turns out there's some loose class 3, maybe even class 4 stuff up there that we didn't feel comfortable with. And then who knows what's on the ridgeline up to the top there. So we're going to go down and just do some exploring, reconnaissance on another line. And it will be a failure for today. Big fat failure.
All good.
Nah, this happens in Death Valley a lot. So there's the ridgeline we tried and we're defeated. So we came down here into the wash, found another line up here, which is pretty good so far. And we're going for it. Never said we were smart. So far, so good. All right, describe your feelings of pain and anguish.
Round 2 of getting fucked by this mountain.
I guess I'm clicking the video is not meant for kids. That's okay. I usually drop a few F-bombs in them too. All right, so we're on this ridge line. That's the top. But we decided our turnaround time was 2:45. It is 2:22 right now, and we have both decided that we are high on methamphetamines to try any further. So we're turning around. This ridgeline hasn't been too bad, but it's been steep and loose, so going down is going to be a little bit of a hassle, but good views. All right, we're licking our wounds from being defeated twice, but we tried to go up right there, went up there, got up to about that point, and realized we weren't going to have enough time. But I think we figured out a way that's doable. Just not maybe as fun.
Under blue moon I saw you. So soon you'll take me up in your arms, too late to beg you or cancel it, though I know it must be the killing time, unwillingly mine. Fate up against your will, through the thick and thin.
hardest part of this hike is just coming up this little gully, valley. It's not too bad, just a little canyon, whatever you want to call it. Kind of gets your heart going, blood pumping a little bit. Say a little sandy, but not too bad.
You kissed me, your lips a magic world, your sky all hung with jewels. The killing moon will come too soon. Fate up against your will, through the thick and thin. He will wait until you give yourself to him.
Top of that first ridge line, and I see now where we went last time. I got to go down and then go up. There's a gully right there. It goes right up the ridge. So the only part I'm really concerned about is right up at the top. It's kind of steep. It's kind of hard to tell from here, but from when we were, I don't know, about halfway up last time, it looked doable. I'm back at the start of the first big gully. It's not too big, and it's not too bad. Should be easy-ish to go up. Although this time I am going to put my micro spikes on. Unlike last time. Why not? Only helps. Makes it more enjoyable. Back at the fun, steep and loose part. Last time Chaz and I went straight up. I do a little bit of climbing, but it was fun. And on the way down, I came down that way, which was a mistake. Because it was really loose, really steep. And even with my micro spikes on, I had to like do the intentional butt slide. And it was just that tenacious or tedious. So I'm gonna try to take the same line Chaz took on the way down, right down the middle, a little to the right. We'll see how it looks. Okay, I'm on the final ridge line, and I see a line almost all the way to the top. It's a little steep though near the top. Not sure what to do there. Everything is really sharp up here. I went over a little hump back there that was unplanned, and it was very sharp. I had to sit a couple of times to scoot down, but man, ooh, it was like sharp rock right at the bunghole. Hopefully I didn't tear my pants. This would be the fourth pair that I would destroy. But beautiful views. There's Telescope Peak in the distance, and over this hump is where I came from. Almost to the final approach. I'm just right below this ridge line. Hasn't been too bad, you know, up and down, the typical ridge line. And just got to go up this, and that part right in the middle is a steep part. Zoom in a little bit more right there in the middle. That's the part I'm worried about, but let's get up to it and we'll see what it looks like from below.
Taking a ride with my best friend. I hope he never lets me down again. He knows where he's taking me.
Almost to the top. I'm on the final steep descent or ascent. This has been the hardest part so far, but actually it's been fun. A little loose at times, but class 2, mostly stable. I mean, if I search, I can find good handholds. And I can always grab onto something even when it's a little loose. So I think once I get up there, I got one more final up to go. Almost there.
Never want to come down, never want to put my feet back down on the ground. I'm taking a ride with my best friend.
I think I can see light at the end of the tunnel. It's I think it's that notch right there in the middle, although it doesn't look as high than that right there in the middle, but just go right up the gut here. Looks like it might be a little steep and loose right there, but once I get on top of that little hill, shoot over, and I'll be at the top. I went to the wrong summit. This one's just a little bit lower than over there, which I think has the true peak and probably the register. So back I go. Hasn't been too bad though, just gotta go slow. Slanted and loose. Great views up here. There's Pyramid Peak in the distance. Looking back down towards Mount Perry. And down in the distance is Death Valley with Telescope Peak in the background. Alright, time to go to the true summit. On top of Schwab Peak, 6,420 feet, give or take a few. And beautiful views up here. Went to the wrong summit the first time, but oh well. There's one of those is Pyramid Peak. I can't quite figure out which one. I was up there a few years ago. That was a really tough hike. Pretty close to the same elevation. And looking over there towards Telescope Peak, you can kind of see 20 Mule Canyon, 20 Mule Team Canyon, whatever it's called. The edge of it at least. And looking north towards the Stovepipe Wells sand dunes. And that's the road that I came up, the valley. Just kind of hiked right up here. I'm glad I finally bagged this one. It wasn't easy, but it wasn't like, you know, extremely hard. The last part was kind of rough. It was really steep and really loose, so going down is going to be fun, but it's not that long of a distance. So, you know, once I get past there's two little spots, then it's, you know, should be okay. Then there's one little other area that I went down with Chaz that really kicked my ass last time, but I think I know a better way down. So, all right, well, I'm gonna eat some lunch, enjoy the views, and head on back.
good. Lips like sugar. Just when you think you've caught her, she glides across the water. She calls for you tonight to share this moonlight. You flow down her river. She laughs and you give her.
All right, peak naming time. Over there, that's Bat. That's the Funeral Mountains high point. That's Pyramid Peak. There's a couple other ones over there. Old Metal Drum. Never heard of that one before. And then as we come over here, we got Telescope in the distance. Oops, forgot. There's Mount Perry. In the distance is Funeral Peak. A few others. Right there in the middle, I think that one, that's Rockfall, or that one's Rockfall. It's hard to say. That's Winter's Peak. And then that guy right there is an unnamed peak. About, I don't know, 50-something, 100 feet. Lots of good peaks up here. And then you can see the Amargosa Valley down there. You can see some green farmland. Okay, so this is the last final ascent. And on the way up, I kind of went a little bit to the right and like that. And it was really loose. Microspikes really helped. And I had my poles up. On the way down, I came down more along the sturdy ridgeline. It wasn't too bad. A few really loose spots, but you know, threw my poles down a few times. But having the poles there for a few times was really helpful. So I'm kind of doing this hybrid thing with, you know, climbing gloves, poles, throwing poles down, climbing, so forth. But now I got this section down here, which was a little daunting. So I think I might put the poles up, I'm not sure. And then there's the ridgeline in the distance. So that was actually harder coming down. I went up along the right side and I came down along the right side. I don't think I came down the exact same way, but it was pretty loose and steep at times. And you want to go over there, but actually it gets pretty steep. So I recommend just kind of stay to the right, just kind of, you know, go up where you feel comfortable. Going up was a lot easier. Coming down is always harder, but I got 2 of the 3 nasty spots done. Just got one more nasty one to go, maybe 2, and then I'm home free. Okay, I'm ready to start that ridge line, which is pretty fun. Just go boom, 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 boom. And right there at the other side of that little knob is the last hairy spot. Well, I came down a little bit better this time, still kind of slow. Instead of coming over to the right like I did last time, which was hell, just kind of came straight down. I don't think I found Chaz's line though, because it was pretty steep and loose at times, but a lot better than the first time I came down. So it's just a hard part of the mountain right here. Clouds are starting to gather. I see some showers in the distance, so looks like thunderstorms tomorrow may come to fruition. Okay, so I came up over this hill, went up that notch to that saddle, and then just followed the ridgeline all the way up. And pretty much came back down the same way. There's 3 steep and loose sections, so you gotta go slow. But then at the saddle there, I came back over the hill as opposed to coming down the chute like I went up and came down over here. Wasn't too bad. They're probably about the same in terms of skill and energy usage. I'm back at the car. Another successful hike, although it took 2 times to do this one. That's okay. You live and learn. That's a canyon I just came down. and the clouds are gathering. So I'm gonna try to get out of here before it starts raining. I don't want to be on that road if it's raining on me. But it said it was only gonna be partly cloudy, but these look like they might do something. So I'm gonna boogie. Until next time.